In 1492, Queen Isabella of Spain sent Columbus sailing the ocean blue. And ever since then, Spain has played a part in North American culture. Spain was the first global empire where the sun never set, and the food. From the interior, hot, thick soups. On the Atlantic side, vegetable and fish-based stews. And from the Mediterranean coast, more seafood, tasty soups, and rice-based paella. Queen Isabella would have sent those ships a lot sooner if she knew how we prepared food. Imagine that Spanish paella with our West Coast seafood, along with an arugula and Manchego salad. Come on, Isabella. I'm Garrett Shack, and today, that's what we're cooking on the coast. Today we're creating a seafood paella with arugula and Manchego salad, a Spanish dish with our distinctly coastal approach. Queen Isabella, we'll do you proud. Let's get started. This Valencian dish from Spain is highly revered. The Valencians will tell you that they're as passionate about it as they are their sporting teams. So we're going to try to do them proud today. If there's any Spaniards out there watching, you'll see we can do it just about as well here. All right, we're doing a seafood paella today. If you wanted to add some chorizo, go right ahead, but I think this one here is a real good impression of the Valencian dish. Some nice olive oil. We're using a good Spanish olive oil today to keep with our theme. We're going to go ahead and add our onions. Now you'll see the pan we're using here is actually pretty key to the dish. You could do it in a different pan, but if you want a really authentic paella, go out and get yourself one of these gorgeous paella pans. Now this is a fairly large pan. It's about a 15 or 16 inch pan, and it'll serve about 8 people in this dish. The pan actually, or the word paella actually comes from the Latin word of patella, which refers to which is a Latin word for pan. So we've got our onions in there. You can hear it starting to sizzle, but it's not sort of over the top going. Again, we want to just get the process happening and not actually burn our onions or caramelize them. Add the pepper. Let's do one more for good measure. So again, this is going to feed about 8 people here. So this is a great one for a dinner party if you're having some folks over. I guess the reason I chose to do this dish is I had it as a child when I was visiting Spain, and I was just mesmerized by the whole process of it. It's kind of like cooking a risotto, except no stirring whatsoever. Once the process starts, there's no stirring. At first here, we're going to give it a few stirs. All right, starting to go now. So the rice is key to this dish. Rice became a staple in Spain about the 15th century. Today, I'm using an actual Valencian rice. So this is an authentic paella rice. You can find it in some specialty stores around town. The key to this is, if you can't find it, is to use a short grain rice. It's also kind of known as la bomba. So I'll just spread a little out on the cutting board here. I don't know if you can see it, but it's this really short grain rice and the term la bomba comes from sort of the shape of the rice balls. So we're gonna add this into our paella pan. For this size, I'm going to do about 2 full cups. So again, that's about half a cup of rice per person. So there's 1 and 2. So I know to this point you're going, well, I've made risotto before, and this doesn't seem that different from risotto. And you're absolutely right. Where it changes will be once we get into the adding the liquid portion, because then we don't actually stir any longer. So let me clean this rice off my board. I want to add a little garlic scapes. If you're lucky enough to be in season and to use these, please do. They have a wonderful garlic flavor. So I'm just going to chop a few of these guys up. If not, regular garlic will do, but just don't go too heavy. It's not a garlic dish. It's definitely about the seafood and the sweetness of our seafood. There we go. And into our pan. Give this a stir. So I haven't added any liquid yet. We want to sort of toast up all these grains of rice and get the flavors sort of all married together here. Now, another key ingredient in a paella is the saffron. When you're choosing saffron, it's really tempting to go for the inexpensive stuff, but if you can, spend a few extra dollars and you'll really appreciate it. The saffron should have nice, long sort of filaments or stigmas, and when you smell it, it should have a real sweet, sort of pungent aroma. And a little goes a long way. So what I have here would do probably, I don't know, 10 of these dishes. Put a nice pinch in there, add a lovely flavor and aroma. There we go. You'll see as well, this is where that sort of yellow color from a paella comes from. Oh paella, oh paella. It's all coming together. At this point, we don't want to stir too much more, okay? We've got our sort of vegetables mixed around, our rice is on the base of the pan. Now we're gonna start adding our liquid. I have a shrimp stock here, and I think it's the best way to go. If you don't have access to shrimp stock or shrimp shells, you could use this, another form of seafood broth, but shrimp stock is definitely the way to go. So we start adding it a little bit at a time. We want that sizzle. I've heated the broth up. That will just expedite the process a little bit. You can add cold liquid, but if you have the space on your countertop, go ahead and do it. Mix it around lightly. This part, we're trying to distribute the sort of the veg and all that kind of stuff around, the vegetables around and the rice around. We'll add another couple of ladlefuls here. There we are. There's the base of our paella. We've got those vegetables that have been softened up and nice and sweet. The rice is in there. It's all been coated with that extra virgin olive oil. We've got the lovely color coming out already, as you can see from the saffron. We'll be back later in the show to pull the seafood paella with arugula manchego salad all together. But first, right after the break, we'll get out of the studio. You'll want to stick around for that. Oh paella, oh paella. All right, we're out of the kitchen, out on the scene, checking out some of the stuff that's going on. Victoria Pie Company is where we're at today. I can't wait to dig into this one. Let's pop over here and say hello to Robin. Hey, Robin, how are you?
Hi, good.
Thanks for having me. I'm going to have a hard time staying on this side of the counter with all that good stuff over there.
That's okay, I'll invite you over there.
Nice, nice. So what's the specialty? What's the kind of thing that goes on here?
Ooh, well, we bake very much using seasonal ingredients. So
Okay.
although we do have some staples like chicken pot pie and steak pot pie and things like that, we definitely try to work with our local bounty here all year round. So
Nice. So you'll find apple pie in the fall and
Totally.
that kind of jazz, right?
yeah, well, we'll do, we tend to rock out apple all year round. I think if we cut that off the
That's
menu.
kind of a staple, hey?
But yeah, we're just in cherry season right now, so we're doing some really nice cherry pies. We're very much looking forward to the stone fruits from the Okanagan.
Absolutely, all the peaches and
Oh, yeah.
apricots. Oh yeah, that's going to be delicious. Well, how about we hop back and you can whip something up for me?
Sure.
That sounds good. Thanks. Okay, so we're in action here now.
We're gonna make an apple apricot pie, and Jules is gonna help here.
Hey, Jules, how you doing?
Hey, good, thanks.
Good. So thankfully we have one of these machines, hey?
We do, yeah. No carpal tunnel.
That's right. So they don't make them like this anymore either. Like this looks like one that's been around
It's a
for a
bit
while.
old school, yeah. We try to do things just like your grandma would do here.
Absolutely, which is great, right? Like, and that's what we all want in an apple pie. That's what pies are supposed to be about. Is nostalgic.
Yeah. It's actually remarkably hard to get.
I bet, yeah. So apples. Obviously, we're going to have some apricots. What else would go into this mixture? Here?
We're gonna put a little, so we can start now. So a bowl of just fresh peeled apples here. We always work with a little lemon, and we work with the lemon and the lemon zest
Nice,
from this
yeah.
guy.
Get some of the oils in there.
Just helps to sort of brighten the flavor a little bit. Everybody uses these squeezers upside down, but if you actually use it upside down this way,
Yeah.
you get a lot more juice out of it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, like next to no juice left in those things.
Pretty
right?
much nothing left in those.
Yeah, that's perfect.
So I'm gonna add a little bit of yellow sugar here, and we use this just because we want it to have a little bit of richness, but not to sort of go overboard.
Okay, yeah, so it imparts a little bit more of a caramelized flavor, right? Instead of
Yeah.
just using regular white sugar.
Yeah.
Like it.
And we go in and just
Part where
like
you get to
Grandma
get
would have
dirty,
done.
eh? Yeah. Keeps the integrity of the apples a little bit,
Yeah.
and so I suppose you want those nice chunks in your pie, right?
I'm gonna go in a little bit more here.
Can't
Most
have too
of it's
much sugar
by
if you ask
feel.
me.
No. Well, I mean, we try not to oversweeten because there are lots of folks that don't want too much sugar in the pie.
And that makes sense, yeah.
So that's pretty much how we season our apples.
Okay.
This here is an apricot compote. Now we've made this with fresh apricots. We don't use any canned fruit or really any dried fruit here, with the exception of sort of mincemeat Christmas, which is. So we've done this. We've cooked it down on the stove with a little vanilla, once more a little lemon, a little bit more golden yellow sugar. Yeah. So
Very
what
nice.
I'm going to do here, I'll just actually add a little bit of flour to these guys, and this is just to make sure that
Kind of all gets absorbed and gets a nice sort of thick sauce in there. Well, now in apricots, I mean, the sweetness of the apricot and a little bit of that tart from the Granny Smith. Guess these are Granny Smith.
they
And
are
they're
Granny Smiths, yeah.
Sort of that sweet and sour kind of texture going on in there.
So what we
Flavor.
do here is we just basically, this is our a pre-pressed crust, and we do everything on site here. This is our pastry is a butter olive oil pastry.
Oh, neat. And the pastry, I mean, it looks super unique.
I made 300 pie crusts before we settled on this one.
Before you decided on the right crust.
We worked with, we were really trying to stay away from shortening, as well as lard, because lard plays mean tricks on vegetarians, and we really wanted to stay away from shortening because that stuff is going to kill you. And we tried all kinds of different variations of coconut oil, but this one you get the taste of the butter, and you get the benefits of the olive oil as well. Before I opened this place, I did a lot of research and found a couple I think they're in Manitoba, and they hand make little pie presses.
Okay.
And so it's a beautiful handmade wooden device that basically you put a little, unformed piece of pastry in it and press it down, and it'll press it into these forms.
And it's unique
or
to the
into a
forms that you use here.
Yeah, totally unique to what we use here. We barely work the pastry, so you can see the huge pieces of butter in there, which you'd never be able to get if you rolled by hand.
Yeah,
It's
no,
just
for sure.
so this is a good top for you can see that as well.
Oh, look at that.
Now, don't expect this to look too pretty, because really good pie never gonna look that pretty.
Yeah, exactly. Grandma never spent all that time making it look pretty, did she?
No, well, I mean, she might have, but it wasn't my grandma.
Fair enough.
So that's pretty much it, and we do a little slit in the top. Sorry, Jules.
Yeah, a little vent to try to get some of the steam out of there, hey?
And
Should
little
have a
egg
little
wash, and then
fancy
that'll go
Victoria
in.
Pie Company stamp for that or something.
Yeah,
That'd be perfect.
That's a good idea, actually.
There you go. Fantastic. So, are there any that are made already? Could I give one a try?
Yeah, I've got one here.
Oh, geez, look at
Pass
that.
that over to you. So you can see, now this little hole on the back side there, most
here?
people think, oh, that's not very pretty, but you know what that was? That was a giant piece of butter.
That's right. Yeah, then melt it all in.
And
I mean,
it melted and baked into the pie. So you want that.
you can already, you can hear how flaky that crust is going to
Yeah, it's definitely crisper than a shortening-based crust.
be. Nice job on the apples. Looks fantastic. I'm going to give it a little taste here. Oh, wow. You're absolutely right about the pie crust. That beats any store-bought crust, hands down.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not getting this pie back, by the way.
Okay, well, it's all yours.
That's fantastic. Well, Robin, Jules, thanks so much for having me here today.
Well, thank you.
I really learned a lot. I love the pie crust. Love the fillings. I look forward to trying your pies over and over again. This is
Thank you
great.
so much.
Thanks very much. I'm going to keep eating if that's okay. Yeah? Back to the kitchen, and we're working on our Spanish seafood paella with arugula and manchego salad. So we have our rice that's been cooking away here gently. We've basically thrown away our wooden spoon. We don't need that anymore. And what's happening in the pan right now is it's just simmering away. Those rice kernels are starting to plump up nicely. There's still a tiny bit of crunch in there. So if you taste it, and it's important with the paella to start tasting at this point. Okay, you want to just take a few kernels of rice. Yeah, it's exactly at the stage that we want it. It's still crunchy. It's still got a bit of al dente, and there's just enough liquid in there. We'll probably add a touch more to cook the rest of our shellfish. In the meantime, what would our seafood paella be without our seafood? Now, these are a delicious West Coast oyster known as coochies. Coochie oysters are actually probably a couple of my favorite types of oysters, simply because they have this nice deep cup and they're pretty easy to shuck. We get through it there. Pop it out the other side. Now, these are some traditional seafood accompaniments to a paella that you would find in other parts of the world, but we're using our own stuff from right here off the west coast of our island. Make sure there's no shell. Nothing worse than crunching down on a raw oyster that has shell in it. Now, these ones here, once we get them out of the shell, we're gonna put them right into our paella. But first, we'll add some of our other things. We have Manila clams. Now, when you're buying these at your seafood monger, ask them for purged clams. That'll save you a bit of time at home. If they don't have purged clams, you kind of got to let them sit in running cold water with a little cornmeal in there. What that does is gets the sand out of the shells. So we're just going to place these around nicely. Again, this is going to be a dish for about 8 people, 6 to 8, depending on how hungry everybody is. This is where we can really get fancy with our presentation and really show all the colors and the different shellfish and seafood that's in here. And next up, we have these gorgeous, gorgeous West Coast spot prawns. These things are phenomenal. And when they're in season and you can find them, use them live and head on. I'm just gonna pop them right in here like this. Look at the presentation of this. It's coming together so nicely. Again, this is one of my favorite things. I touched on it a little bit earlier in the show. Is when I was a kid in Spain and I saw them making this over a big open fire. There's about 20 of us just mouth salivating, waiting to get into this dish. But a lot of it had to do with the presentation. All the shellfish nicely placed in there. It was amazing. And then we're gonna go with our oysters. We'll put them right in the center. I've got 1 for each person here, so we're gonna do 8 oysters. There's a little bit of liquor in there, which is great. We're gonna pour that right on over top. We don't want to lose any of that. Okay, and like I said, so I can see already that there's a bit of it's dried out a little bit around the side, and that's perfect. The whole point of this dish is to create a little bit of a crust at the bottom. Okay, we're gonna take our stock here from our Cuisinox pan and just ladle a little bit more in there. We don't want too much. We don't want to disturb that crust. All this work of not stirring would be a shame to ruin it by adding too much liquid. At this stage, couple of claws, and we're gonna go fire this right into the oven. 350 degrees, just long enough to pop those clams open and to cook our shellfish on top. And we're gonna serve this, so this paella is a fairly rich dish. It's got lots of sweetness, that sort of pungent flavor from the saffron. So we want something to brighten up our palates a little bit. Over here, I have some arugula, also known as garden rocket in some parts of the world. I just want to snap the edges off. We're going to toss this lightly with, again, we're working in Spain here, right? So we're going to toss this lightly with a little Spanish olive oil. Because the flavors of the rocket are so pungent and flavorful, we don't necessarily need to put too much on here. Give it a little toss in that olive oil. Some lemon juice. I'll just squeeze it on. Again, not too much. A little toss, a pinch of salt. And we're not gonna add any pepper to this. Why? Because the arugula is already super peppery. And we'll just take that straight over to a nice plate here. Doing this one family style. As you can see, we have that big pan of paella in the oven and a lovely salad. Now the Manchego. Manchego is a traditional Spanish sheep's milk cheese. It's got a firm but buttery texture, so it lends itself really, really well to this arugula. And all about balance and flavors here. Just use a peeler. This is a great trick that we use in the restaurant all the time. You get these gorgeous big chunks of cheese. Just gonna tidy that up a little bit. There we go. Maybe I'll get another little squeeze of the lemon. Put our lemon right with it. There we are. All right, now over to the oven. Let's see how our paella is doing. It's been in for about 15 minutes now, 10, 15 minutes. What we're looking for here is not overcooked shellfish, but just right. So those clams have popped open nicely. Wow, that looks awesome. And the smell, I can really smell the saffron. Look at the beautiful colors in there. Look at that. Set it down on a big rustic cutting board there. I'm just gonna plunk a few lemon wedges in. I can tell already that because of as I'm poking in here, The crust has formed on the bottom of the pan, making this wonderful sort of dish. Chop some fresh parsley, nice big chunks all around. A little bit of green onion. This just adds a touch of freshness to that really rich dish. Oh, look at that. Again, the aromas. I can smell the shellfish. I can smell the saffron. Just amazing. And there you have it, our Spanish seafood paella with arugula manchego salad. Oh paella, oh paella. I can't think of a better way to enjoy a Spanish paella than with a great Spanish wine. Today, Jace Katischuk from Clive's Classic Lounge joins me to showcase one delicious Rioja. Jace, how you doing, buddy?
I'm well, thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming in. So, yeah, we're hitting Spain here like full stop. So what have you got for us?
Well, I love paella to start, so I thought you can't beat a nice Rioja to go along with that. In case some people aren't aware, Rioja is a region in Spain, so you're not going to find a Rioja from anywhere else in the world except for Spain. But let's get going on this.
Perfect. And how do you pronounce that again?
The name of the wine? Dinastia Vivanco.
You got to throw a little bit of a little flair when you say it.
Exactly.
Hey? Paella, Dinastia Vivanco.
That's right.
The master at work, hey, opening the wine bottles. How many do you figure you've opened in your time?
In the thousands.
Oh, really?
Sure.
Hey?
Yeah.
I believe it. That's music to my ears right there, that sound.
It's a good sound.
Perfect. Look at the color on that. It's gorgeous.
Did you know that the first wines that Spain ever produced, the first documentation of it, was in 823?
823, hey?
823.
Oh, the nose is fantastic. It's such a bold smell.
Gorgeous color, too.
Oh,
nice
that is
tannin, not
fantastic,
too,
the way that
not too
covers
over the
the
top. I think it's going to play well really nicely with that.
I'm gonna dig into some of this rice here. So you can see we've got this nice little crust around it. Try a bit of the rice. Look at that. Oh, wow. The rice is just perfect. It's like they know what they're doing, hey? Spanish food, Spanish wine,
yeah.
Incredible.
They've been getting along for years.
They have, and let's hope they continue to do so. Thanks very much, Jason.
My pleasure, thank you.
Check out our website where you'll find more information on today's show and maybe a few surprises. I'm Garrett Shack. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to savor the flavor.